when you were in your role at either sort of BlackRock or HG Capital, was there anything specific that you did to sort of try and overcome those challenges?
Yeah. So we set up a DEI committee. I mean, I don't love committees or the thought of them, but you've got to start somewhere. So when I joined, because I done a lot of that work with BlackRock, and they were far advanced at BlackRock, again, just because they've been going on over huge teams, they understood why they were doing it. We set this up and we figured out what are the work streams we need to look at here, like what's really important. And gender came up, ethnic diversity came up, LGBTQ plus. So they were kind of the main work streams that we worked with. But we carried out an inclusion survey, and I think that was the very first time that people began to understand what does inclusion mean. You can't have the diversity unless you have the inclusion. And it was quite tricky because we're giving feedback that felt very personal to the firm rather than, hey, listen, this is what we need to do to get better at. People don't feel included. And here are some examples of why. Like, for example, when you go into a meeting room and have your weekly meeting, everyone, all the partners sit around the table and then everyone else is around the sides. You know, what does that tell you? So there's just something around that people were very defensive of it to begin with, but then began to get the joke and understand what it was about, because we got a few of the partners to join and some of the investors to join the DEI committee. But it really took time. Like, it was a real slow burn. But that's generally where people tend to start, is have a committee and educate and raise awareness. The second thing we did was, off the back of that, was to have education and awareness sessions and do really interesting things. For example, for Black History Month. And it's a basic thing, but it's somewhere to start, and bringing people with lived experiences and then involve people in the organization who've had lived experiences to speak up if they feel comfortable doing it. And so it starts to become more real, as opposed to just a speaker speaking at you like, oh, that was great, and then you go back to your day job. This is like, oh, somebody's really had this interesting lived experience. So they'd probably be the places that I'd start, and that's what we did to start, and they eventually worked quite well.